It's 4 o'clock in New York. It's 3 o'clock in Minneapolis, where a confrontation that could have national and international ramifications is unfolding right now. A brutal campaign by federal agents from the Trump administration meeting resistance on the streets of that city from Americans. Protests flared last night after another shooting by an ICE agent. This time it was a Venezuelan immigrant. He was shot in the leg. A neighbor told the New York Times that they heard gunshots and witnessed federal agents swarming the neighborhood. Those agents threw smoke grenades in an effort to get the man to come out of his home. The Department of Homeland Security claims that the man fled a traffic stop and that he assaulted the officer who caught up to him. Again, that is what they are claiming. That's what they are saying. A Minnesota lawmaker released a 911 call, allegedly from the man's wife. In that 911 call, the wife says that he was chased into the house and shot through the door. The incident led to clashes with protesters last night. At least 200 people gathered on the scene. Law enforcement used tear gas and flashbangs against the crowd. 2 people were detained and then released. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey condemned the violence during a press conference last night. Watch that.
For anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. And I have seen thousands of people throughout our city peacefully protesting. For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping, and you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city. You are not helping the people that call this place home.
And here is Minnesota's governor, Tim Walz.
Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Indeed, as hard as we will fight in the courts and at the ballot box, we cannot and will not let violence prevail. You're angry, I'm angry. Angry is not a strong enough word, but we must remain peaceful.
And we played Governor Walz and Mayor Frey for you because it represents a night and day contrast to Donald Trump and his administration. Proving them right, though, in what they said there, the Trump administration has responded to the events in Minneapolis by fanning the flames again. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche blamed Governor Walz and Mayor Frey for the violence last night. And as for Donald Trump, this morning he threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act, the 1807 law that allows him to deploy the military. And it is that threat that now has the people of Minneapolis fearing that things in their city will only get worse. Here's what 2 residents told our reporters on the ground.
This is not good. This is not good. I'm afraid it's going to happen again tonight. I don't know what's going to happen here.
Is this going to stop? Probably not. Is it going to get worse? Probably. What does getting worse look like? Like, is martial law coming? You know, almost certainly, which sucks. Because these are our neighbors. Like, we're just living. We're just here trying to protect each other. And so to see the different narratives coming from different sides it's all just tough to reckon with.
A city on edge as the Trump administration fans the flames and creates chaos is where we start today. With me at the table, host of the Bulwark podcast, political analyst Tim Miller is here, and my friend and colleague, senior political analyst, contributing host on Pod Save America, host of the podcast Runaway Country, Alex Wagner is here, and joining us from Minneapolis, Minnesota State Representative Aisha Gomez is back with us. Let me start with you, Representative Gomez. Just tell me what's happening. Take me back to last night, actually. Tell me what unfolded last night.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. So there's kind of a lot of lack of clarity about the situation that happened last night. I can just say, like, having been on the scene of situations that then prompted a press release from DHS, I appreciate the that we're looking critically at those because they're sort of propaganda tools themselves. I mean, what's been going on since Renee Good was murdered, my constituent was murdered in the street 1 week ago, is that we have just seen a massive escalation. We've seen additional troops, and our streets are tense. Our streets, to the extent that there is chaos being sown in our streets, it's being sown by just this influx of heavily armed, masked agents of the federal government who are themselves here clearly to destabilize our community. It's hard to just go about your daily life without encountering scenes of chaos. I was at a school a couple days ago, 2 days ago, just welcoming the kids in the morning. I heard whistles and honks. I was a couple blocks from Renee Good's murder. I ran over there and, just this scene of complete chaos. They're pulling a bystander. They cut her seatbelt, pulled her out of her car. They're carrying. She wasn't even an observer. She was just trying to go to a doctor's appointment, and she was physically assaulted, removed from her car. An observer was physically assaulted. They were carrying them by their four limbs. They used chemical munitions against the crowd. I was maced and tear gassed. And as I'm just this scene, right, in a residential community of chaos is unfolding at the hands of these federal agents, I see this man, and he has a little, it's a baby, right? A toddler, probably less than 2 years old, I'm sorry, like an 18-month-old or so. And he's just trying to cross the street to go to his house. And he is just terrified, and his baby is terrified, and they're crossing the street through clouds of tear gas. And that is the scene in an American city. And I just appreciate the invitation, because I feel like if you're not living here, you might not understand like that this guy's just trying to get to his house, right? Like, people are trying to bring their kids to school, go to work, and there are scenes of complete chaos. And to be clear, there's no insurrection happening in Minneapolis right now. The chaos and the lack of safety in our streets is because of ICE and CBP.
What do you tell your citizens to do? I mean, what should people do? I know the governor and the mayor have made clear that they should remain peaceful, but if they need help, are they, are local police folks roaming the streets? I mean, what should your constituents do if they find themselves in that situation, heaven forbid, holding an 18-month-old baby and just trying to cross the street and go home or drive to a doctor's appointment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question. It's a hard question to answer. There are not local law enforcement agencies that are willing to intervene physically when citizens are being brutalized, and that's just the fact of the moment that we're in. And so what I'm telling my constituents is to continue doing what they're doing, which is, not only going about their lives, but also being on watch for each other, taking care of each other. That the reason that I came upon this scene when I was at the school 2 days ago is because I heard the sound of whistles. We all are wearing whistles in Minneapolis, and it draws community together, because these masked secret agents, secret police who murdered my constituent a week ago want to operate in the dark. They don't want us to be filming their activities, because when you see what they're doing, we all saw what they did to Renee Good, and we saw what they said about it afterwards. And we saw that the official line about that day was a lie. And so what I'm telling my constituents to do is to be with each other. We are out here, we're welcoming kids to school. We're trying to help each other get to work and get food and get the basics of life done. And those of us who are not at risk from this racist and attack on our community, we have to be out in the streets and keeping an eye on each other and making noise when we see an abduction taking place, when we see a violation of civil liberties, which at this point is happening like dozens of times, if not hundreds of times a day. American citizens' civil liberties are being violated. And every time that we see that, we're telling people, make noise, make a crowd, take out your phone, document it. We cannot let them get away with telling a lie about our city. You know, the disorder that exists in our streets, the public safety risk at this point is not an insurrection in Minneapolis. It is an invasion by masked, unaccountable secret police on behalf of an authoritarian regime on the march.